All right, so we're just going to center from standing. So just stand comfortably and turn your palms forward. So it's nice to see you all this day. So use this as an opportunity to connect with the earth through the soles of your feet. And just remember that with the chakras, your legs are red energy up to your root chakra at the pelvic floor. So just imagine red legs and feet and connecting with the earth energy down through your legs and feet. Just ground a little bit here. And just kind of look into your root chakra, which faces downward and spins clockwise. And just take red, vibrant red color, whatever you can think of that's red, a red apple, red car, and bathe that chakra in the red color. And then come up to your second chakra, just beneath your navel, and see the orange of that chakra. Now, these are like tunnels that go all the way through your body. It's not just superimposed on the front of your body. So just see the orange and swirl that and wash the whole area with orange, the creative orange. And then come up into your solar plexus and see the solar color, the golden yellow. This chakra also spins clockwise, which is left to right. Just swirl that energy all around. That's your fire. And then come up to your sternum where your heart center is, Anahata, the meadow green. That's the meadow. Beautiful meadow. And then swirl that color around. This is a counterclockwise spin. The high heart is a combination of blue-green. Just wash that, swirl the color around. And then come up into your throat, which is sky blue. It's another creative center. It's a creative word. So you want to keep that clean and spinning. That's where you speak your truth. We need to be able to do that. And then come up to your third eye and your forehead, the indigo, the night sky blue, midnight blue. This is counterclockwise, so spin that and swirl the color around. And then up to your crown is the violet. This is a clockwise spin as well. Now just imagine a shaft of light coming in through your crown, in from the source. So out from the universe into you. It can be golden or it can be silver light, whatever's easiest for you to work with. But bring it in and fill up your body like filling up your car with gas. Just imagine that light coming in and filling and bathing every cell and your chakras, and send it down into the earth. Visit with the crystalline grid and the crystals of the earth. Just say hello and gather some energy. Give them some of your spiritual energy that you collected as you came in. And then bring it back up through your body and up out your crown, collecting more of the spiritual energy, and then bring it back down to your heart center, your sternum. All right. Now just bring your palms together in Anjali Mudra and we'll attune to breath. Just notice where your breath is right now, what your pace and pattern is. And then we'll work with the 4-8 pattern. We'll inhale to a count of 4 and exhale to a count of 8. So just breathe, arms overhead. Open out and lower down to a count of 8. This is also something that will help slow you down when you're so busy, is working with your breath and doubling the length of your exhale. And one more round. Breathing up. Exhaling down. Now just cup your hands in front of your second chakra, just below your navel. Take in a breath. Exhale, bend your knees, turn your palms down and scoop up some energy from the earth. Straighten your legs and just bring it back in. This is another grounding exercise. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, scoop it up. And if there's a place where you feel you need it, do you need it in your solar plexus? Do you need it in your heart center? Just bring it to the area where you feel the most need for it. Exhale. Inhale it up. And you can just do each chakra if you want to. But bend your knees and stretch the calf muscles, the ankles. And one more. And bring it up. Good job. All right. So just standing comfortably, we'll work with our shoulders a little bit. Just circle them around, breathe them up. And I like to do this with my whole body. So you can bend your knees, inhale and lift it up. Exhale. Stretch your spine. Okay, and reverse it now. And one more. Okay. So just lift your heels, alternate if you want, or um, come up onto both heels if you want. Bend and straighten. Okay. And then breathe, arms up overhead. Whoops. Exhale, arms, and come into your chair pose with a straight back for this one. Toes forward. Now draw in your navel, activate your core muscles. So there's a slight tilt under in your hips. And breathe, just lift up once again. Exhale, arms parallel to the floor, bend your knees, back into chair pose. Okay, I'll turn sideways just for people that watch this later that might not be familiar with it. We're going to extend the chair pose. So taking in your breath, exhale a little deeper, take your hips back and fingertips forward. So lower down, feel your legs, your spine, lengthen it out. Push the floor away, breathe it up. And this time we'll come out into a swan dive, just hinging forward. And breathe it up, reach, lift your crown, arms overhead. And swan dive, exhale down. Now from here, bend your knees. It's a little different stretch. You'll feel your hips probably a little more. And then straighten one leg and then the other. Just getting used to bending forward and stretching the backs of your legs. And then another reverse swan, breathe it up. And swan, dive it down. Head to knee, a little closer here. And then just walk your hands forward, step your feet back, and come into a downward facing dog. Walking in place, stretch your heels down. Work with your shoulders. It's nice to take your hips side to side. You get a nice stretch up the ribs and into your shoulders. And then come forward into a plank pose. Remember your core. Breathe. Now really plant the balls of your feet into the mat. And then just breathe your left knee in towards your nose, curl in. Hold it and breathe. And take the leg back and up into three-legged dog. Reach. Stretch down in your shoulders, hip bones facing the floor. And then just bring your leg back down. And take in a breath. Exhale your right knee in towards your nose, curl in. And take your leg back and up into three-legged. Press down in your left heel. And bring it down. Come forward into plank. Now just for a couple of breaths, take your left knee out to the side and bring it towards your elbow. And replace the foot, other side. And replace your foot back into down dog. And walk your feet in between your hands, head to knee. And then take arms up, reverse swan. Push your feet into the earth. Lift your arms overhead and reach. Now we're going to go to the back. So lift your fingertips up, stretch tall. Legs are engaged, hips are engaged, reach up and to the back. Lift your ribs. Keep lengthening in your spine. Open your arms out to the side and lower them down. All right, shake out your wrists, circle around a few times after your plank and down dog. Bring the energy down into your fingers. Okay. All right. Loosen up in your shoulders if you need to. I like serpentine shoulders. Very good. All right. So just bring palms, breathe them into Anjali Mudra. Exhale, shift the weight over to your right and just come into tree pose. Open your knee. Now take your foot back into warrior one legs and breathe arms up overhead. So vinyasa, just breathe the knee in and out a few times, loosening in your hips. Now bring your hands into Kali Mudra, okay? And keep your hips pointing forward. Stretch your arms up. Change your gaze towards the floor. Transfer the weight onto the front foot and lift your back leg into warrior three. Stretch it out. Bring the foot in. Palms back to Anjali Mudra. Good. Breathe a couple of breaths. All right, so take in your breath. Exhale the weight over onto your left foot and come into your tree pose. And take your foot back into warrior one. Just get your alignment. Breathe arms overhead. And inhale the knee in and out a few times. Inhale it in, exhale it out. Come into your warrior one. Check your hips. Bring your hands into Kali Mudra. Change your drishti, your gaze, towards the floor. Shift the weight onto the front foot. Just slide forward and lift the back leg into warrior three. Stretch it out. And step it in, palms together over your heart. Good job. Okay, and just standing twists, circle around, loosen up. And back to center. Horse pose. Turn your toes slightly out. Take in a breath. Exhale, bend your knees. Open them out to the side. If you need to widen a little bit, that's fine. Just find your stability, and lower down. Keep pressing the knees open. Bring palms into Anjali Mudra. So just like you're sitting, you want your hips tilted so that your pelvic floor is facing down. Energy can come straight up and around your spine. Open the knees, just a little wiggle side to side, and then lower down a little more. Take in a breath. Exhale. Open the knees. Press down in your feet. Okay, coming back up isometrically. Squeeze the legs together. Bring them in. Breathe in. Good. 5-pointed star. All right, and breathe, bringing palms back to your heart center. So take your, you might have to turn sideways on your mat for warrior two, but turn your right leg out, heel out, toes on your left. Widen your stance as you need to. Take in your breath. Wiggle your hips a little bit. Find where your center is. Okay, take in your breath. Exhale the knee out. Come into your warrior two with your legs. And breathe, arms up overhead. And out into warrior two, arms. Gazing over the fingertips, over the bent leg. Breathe. Become the witness here. Observe yourself, your thoughts, your feelings. Just like you're looking down on yourself. Observe. And inhale, bringing the knee in. Bring palms back into Anjali Mudra. And turn the feet the other way. So the back heel presses out a little bit. Okay, wiggle your hips, find your center. Take in your breath. Exhale the knee out. Keep pressing the knee open so it's over the center line of your foot. And breathe, arms up overhead. Out to the side. Exhale. As your hips relax more and more, just deepen your pose. But keeping that knee open and rotating back in the back hip. And inhale the knee in. Just turn both feet in, toes in, heels out for a forward fold. Take in your breath. Exhale, hinge forward in your hips. Lead with your chest. Tilt your hips up and relax down over your legs. Still hinging in your hips. You can reach for your ankles or you can bring your hands in center. So continue to tilt your hips up, tailbone up towards the ceiling, and torso comes down as though you wanted to put the top of your head onto the floor.
And then bring your hands onto the floor if they're not already. Bring your feet in just a little bit and open down into a half squat. So just on one foot, slide your left heel out, toes point upwards, and you get a nice stretch on the back of your leg, but also on the inside of your thigh. You can use your elbow on your right arm to press that knee open so you're getting the benefit, the full benefit of this stretch. Flex the foot. Now we're just going to come up on both feet. Just lift your hips up and over to the other side. Into a half squat. Press through the heel, toes pointing up, and press your left knee outward. If the stretch feels a little intense, you can bring your foot in a little closer. You can wiggle around a little bit to take some of the intensity out of the stretch. And then bring your foot in and come in for your malasana, bringing palms together, pressing the knees open and thumbs in towards your heart center. Lengthen up in your spine. And release. So come over into a plank pose now. And bring your right knee forward. We'll come into pigeon. Lowering down. Just kind of wiggling around to loosen up in the hips. You want the back knee turning towards the floor. You want the back knee on the floor. And stretch the leg out behind you. The front leg, ideally, you want your heel and your knee lined up. So it's a straight line lined up with the front edge of your mat. And just, you can take your hand too and just as a reminder to press that hip forward and lift up in your sternum. And then bring both hands down, come onto your forearms into sleeping pigeon. Rest your head. And breathe some nice cleansing breaths. And now just lift your head, press your palms in, come over onto that right hip and bend the back knee. Reach for your ankle or your foot. We want to stretch the thigh. So keep pressing the knee away and bring the heel in towards your hip. If you're able to, depending on your flexibility today, turn the hips forward and bring that heel in towards your hip to get the maximum benefit from this stretch. And just
observe yourself here. Sometimes we start to think, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing this well enough. I'm not whatever. But just observe where your thoughts are with your pose. And then just let your leg back down. Press your palms down. Turn the back toes under. We're just going to pass through plank and switch sides. So bring your left leg forward, stretch your right leg back. Line up the front leg as well as you can, wherever your flexibility is today. You also can place your right hand on your hip just as a reminder to continue aligning your hip bones to the front. Lift up in your spine. Lift your heart. And then sleeping pigeon, just come down over that leg. Just allow relaxation into your hip. And then press down on your palms. Lift up and bend your right knee. Reach for your ankle or your foot. And just come into a stretch for your thigh, bringing that heel towards your hip. See if you can work towards bringing the hips to the front. It does increase the stretch, so you determine where you need to be for this. Breathe and relax the thigh as you bring the heel in towards your hip. Now come all the way over onto your left hip. Bring that back leg around and bring your foot either in front of your shin, in front of your knee, or around all the way in front of your thigh. Bring both sitting bones onto the floor for your twist. You want both sitting bones pressing and grounding into the earth. Just a stretch for your leg, bringing your knee towards your shoulder on the diagonal. Draw your tummy in, lift up in your spine, crown to the ceiling. Breathe. And holding on with your left hand, scoop your right arm out, inhale it up next to your ear. Now start to pivot in your shoulders and your torso and bring that arm behind you to the floor, your hand close to your hip, and you can use that arm to support your back as you relax your spine and come into your twist. We'll go over your shoulder. Breathe. You can get a little bit more twist if you want to by drawing your tummy in. Now release the weight onto your sitting bones. Stay in your twist, but breathe as you lift your right arm up next to your ear and then unwind, coming to the front. And we're going to switch sides. You can just lean back and switch your legs. Bring both sitting bones down onto the floor, onto your mat, and just get settled into your seat and draw your left knee towards your opposite shoulder as a nice stretch. You'll probably feel it in your hip joint, but remain elongated in your spine. Breathe. Now holding on with your right hand, or you can wrap your arm around, or you can do that later as you get into the twist, but scoop your left arm out, inhale it up next to your ear, holding on, relax your spine and twist. Bring your hand down onto the mat near your hip. Look over your shoulder. Draw your tummy in. Be sure to continue elongating, lifting in your spine. Now, press your sitting bones down into the mat. Breathe your arm back up next to your ear and unwind, facing forward once again. And then unfold your legs. And just to loosen up a little bit more, bring your hands behind you, separate your feet, and just take your knees side to side. Coming back to center, bring your feet in. Now, we're going to lift our hands, so you want to engage your core muscles and just reach your arms forward and just a little lean back, a little lean forward, lean back and forward. Hold on to the shins or your knees and lift up, arching in your back. Lift your heart center, come into a bit of an arch in your back. You won't go far because we're seated, but just lift and arch back. And then come to center. Release your arms. If you're able to, we're going to come down for Shavasana. So just roll yourself down See if you can do it with control. Roll your hips under, roll your spine onto the mat. Palms are facing up, and then slide one heel out and then the other. Make sure your hips are rolled under. Roll your shoulder blades under for your Shavasana. Close your eyes and just see the rainbow colors that you are. You are rainbow between heaven and earth. See the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Allow your thoughts to just pass through your mind without focusing on any one thought. You can focus on your breath, the rise and fall of your abdomen for a while just to relax more fully. Just take on the attitude that you have all the time in the world. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just be here now. Let go a little bit more now.
Go deeper. Now just start to gently bring yourself back, becoming aware of your body resting on the ground, the sounds in the room, the sound of my voice, feeling sensations in your body. Do you feel lighter when you relax or heavy with relaxation? How is it for you? Just start to press your low back down into the floor. And then release it. Take your head side to side slowly, giving a little stretch to your neck. Coming back and then bringing some wiggles into your fingers. Maybe squeeze and open. Bring the energy down into your toes. Then slide your feet together and lift your knees up to your chest. And come over onto one side, still with that feeling that you have all the time in the world, as though nowhere to go, nothing to do, just being in this moment. And then pressing both palms on the floor and rolling onto your hands as you press up into sitting. Bring your hands into your favorite mudra. You can bring your index finger and thumb together, stretching out the other fingers, or your long finger and thumb together, stretching out your fingers. Sealing in the benefits. The mudra is a seal, sealing in your energy, the benefits of your practice, and that feeling that you have all the time you need. And release, bringing palms into Anjali Mudra. Just touch your thumbs to your heart center. They say the thumbs represent the will of the man or woman, and the heart center is the divine. So you're merging your will with the will of the divine. So I wish you a pleasant day or evening, whichever you are. Thank you for joining me for our yoga. Namaste, everybody.